Welcome to the Take 92 podcast. My name is Sammy Warm Hands. I am your host, and today we are going to be talking punk rock again. I have been hard at work with Dead Fucking Serious, working on our next album, and simultaneously, my friend Elle has been in the studio with her band Iced. They're working on a new record and have a new tour coming up as well, so she brought along her co-writer Jordan, and we're going to sit down and talk all about that. This is Iced. You and I were talking not long ago that we met longer ago than we thought.
Jordan also at Sandy's acoustic
house
show, and Jordan was wild.
You were doing some weird demonic.
It was.
I barely met Jordan at that point.
Yeah, not gonna lie, that we kind of just played that to troll a little bit, but it was a acoustic black metal set.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was funny.
Yeah, it was supposed to be a comedy thing.
Well, the thing that was funny is that you opened up with that My Bloody Valentine song.
Exactly. We opened up with My Bloody Valentine acoustic, and we actually sang. And then the next song, we went and put on robes and masks.
I was gonna say there was masks involved, right?
Yeah, we had masks.
Okay, I remember just Sandy's dog humping Brittany the whole time.
She was
she was on the ground.
She was rolling around on the ground doing vocals, and the dog just jumped on her.
I think that it's true with most house shows, but I remember that one in particular that if there is a dog, it always gets far more attention than whoever's performing at the time.
I was going to say, too, I think actually, if I remember, I think your brother took a video of this happening, and I'm pretty sure it's still on Facebook somewhere.
Probably. I know that the only reason it popped into my mind is because I was going through kind of the bottom of my YouTube channel a while ago, and I was like, oh, I remember that thing. I remember I came in and... I was the old guy in the room, as is now kind of the thing, I guess, in our little scene. And everyone was watching rap videos that made me sad inside. So I actually opened my acoustic set by rapping, and I was like, oh, yeah, I remember that. I'm going to watch this little clip. And both of you were in the shot. I was like, oh, weird. I kind of forgot that fucking happened.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, me too.
Yeah,
I don't remember anything from that night other than what you did.
I remember playing the set. I think it was Actions did their acoustic thing. I just remember Wade and Alex.
I also just remember someone was full on wearing a winter coat when there's no business for that. That stands out in my mind.
Third and final thing I remember is we ate a lot of pretzels.
And Levi brought crazy bread.
Yeah, I remember
Crazy
there was
frog.
pizza involved.
Yeah.
So were you guys... And actually, I pulled up some Vomit Violence stuff, too, because that was the first thing that I remembered, that I associated you with. In my head, and maybe because of that time, I associated both of you with it, but I saw you were not credited on that release.
You probably listened to the old, really bad one.
Okay.
Yeah. So there was a
separate Bandcamp for the other one.
They either wanted to hide that release or they forgot the login info.
We forgot the login info because we're gonna delete it because it was not.
So I think there was Vomit Violence 1 and then Vomit Violence 541.
The 541's a good one. That's
the 541 was
that's got the multiple EPs and the split with Root Dirt and stuff.
Yeah, 541 has all the stuff with me, and then the old thing was what Lewis.
Yeah,
when her brother was in the band.
I remembered you in it, but I only went to... You guys did a farewell show
twice,
and then and then I missed it, and I was like, oh well, I guess I'm just never gonna see them. And then you guys did another farewell show, and I was like, oh shit, I can actually go to this.
That's probably the best promotional thing we've ever done.
Well, actually, the funny thing is that wasn't really our intention. We announced a farewell show and then got within the couple days after that got asked to play 2 other shows that we really wanted to play.
Because we announced our farewell show so that people would go see Vinkman.
The touring band?
Yeah.
Yeah, but we were gonna call it quits, but then we got asked to play a couple other shows. And then we're like, okay.
Oh well.
Now we need to do another farewell show.
A real last one.
Well, I remember from my perspective, when I was coming up, and we were 8th graders and 9th graders and whatever, and there was a huge disconnect between the punk bands who were playing bar shows and the punk bands who were playing like little house shows and stuff like that. And we started to bridge the gap here and there, and some of those bands would start playing on our shows. Obviously, we couldn't play on theirs.
Yeah.
But I remember just feeling really out of the loop, and I'd see your guys' flyers around, and so that was kind of like my last chance to check it out. But yeah, I remember showing up, kind of like we talked about the other day. You go to a show when you're 17, and you roll with like 5 friends, and you meet up a bunch of other ones there. And I remember at that show at the Wandering Goat, I showed up alone. I kind of like said hi to a couple people that I recognized from the internet, but didn't actually know. And I just kind of stood in the back, and then I left when it was over. I feel like that's kind of my place now in the scene. Spent too many years rapping.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's probably like completely just different people now.
Yeah. And
well, because you guys kind of came up in like the Gathering place, right? I mean, is that fair to say?
That's where I started. I was the Gathering.
Vomit Violence never played there.
Because that I feel like was kind of a transition where we were playing Granges and high schools and you know all these shows that we were setting up, you know, occasionally Wow Hall or something like that. But then places started getting vandalized, you know, bathrooms graffitied, people bringing alcohol. Every spot gets closed down. We move around. We had Agate Hall for a little while, and the guys from Grounds for Assault were doing that. And that was like when DFS started, was 06, 07, maybe 08 that was happening. And then I remember there was some more vandalism and too many fights, and Agate Hall was done. And I feel like Gathering Place must have popped up around 08, 09 as kind of, you had a few people from our scene and then some new faces, and it seemed like, you know, the Boreal and some of those newer spots were birthed out of that kind of transition.
Yeah. The Gathering Place was kind of like a new generation, I suppose, of everybody started coming out, because everybody, I feel like Gathering Place days, everybody was like relatively young, like majority of the people who were there.
Yeah, I noticed that right away. I think I only played there once or twice, just like opening sets. And it was crazy how already then I was like, wow, who are these bands? Who are these kids? Like, where were you 6 months ago? This is crazy.
Yeah.
So how long did Vomit Violence last then?
Probably like 2 years, something like that.
I mean, that was more or less, that was your high school band, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Not me, but them.
Yeah.
I'm a little older.
Yeah.
But they practiced at Ellie's mom's house. Ellie was living at home, obviously, at the time. She was in school. And I lived like a block away. And that's how I joined, basically.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, that was the high school band. I remember Mr. Thomas asked if we'd play at North, but said we'd have to change everything.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, like censor the lyrics or something.
Yeah. He asked us if we could just entirely tone the entire thing down.
See, we had like one member in our high school band who was not from our neighborhood, and so if we wanted to bust into a song that was like filthy, like I remember we played Lunchtime at North. Crosby, who was our other singer, busted into a family reunion, which was just 30 seconds of like Blink-182 had put George Carlin's 7 Dirty Words to music. And so, you know, we're in the middle of this lunchtime performance, and there's teachers and kids everywhere, and you know, Crosby just starts with the shit, piss, fuck, cunt, cocksucker, motherfucker, and they're just like, holy shit, and they couldn't figure out what to do because they didn't know how to operate the PA. Oh. And so what they ended up doing was the teachers grabbed the mic stands and like twisted them so they were pointing straight up in the air, so we couldn't we couldn't be heard over the music. Mm-hmm. And I just remember him like on his tiptoes, just like, shit, piss, fuck, cunt. Just like, because he couldn't get suspended. The rest of us had to play it a little safer, but those were fun.
That's hilarious.
So, when did ICE start coming together?
So, to start out, me and Jordan were just planning on doing like a recording project for fun. What was that? Probably like 2 years ago at this point.
Wait, when was the demo released?
February 2016, I think.
Yeah, but I think, that was when we actually recorded, but I think we started, like, we were just slowly writing stuff for fun. Like,
yeah, for like a few months.
I want to say even like longer than that. I almost want to say like since like spring 2015 maybe.
Maybe. But yeah.
Well, and were you guys together at this point?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're spending a lot of time together, and
Yeah.
just like
Just hanging out. Why
Yeah,
Hey,
not?
let's play some songs.
Coming up with some stuff here and there.
But yeah, it was
you son of a bitch.
initially supposed to just be like a recording project just to do for fun, pastime, whatever.
Yeah.
And then we posted it, and people seemed to like it a lot more than we had thought when we started actually being like a real band, I suppose.
What was the catalyst for? I mean, because at that time, you were coming out of Vomit Violence as the bassist. Mm-hmm. You were the guitarist, right?
Yeah.
And then you started taking over drum duties as well. And we see you move over to vocals. Mm-hmm. I mean, you're still playing bass on those early songs, or
Yeah. Well, yeah, I did bass on those recordings.
Yeah,
Okay.
just for the demo.
I mean, what was the thought behind the roles changing up?
Yeah, previously I just played bass because that's all I knew how to do.
Yeah.
And it was easy. And then I kind of just was like, I kind of want to try something different. I mean, why not? And it just seemed fun.
Yeah.
Honestly, minimal thought behind it for me.
Just kind of
for
I mean, are you coming up with a lot of music at
yeah,
that point? And
most of it was.
and she's going, oh, I know what to do with that.
Yeah, like Elle definitely rocked out a few riffs on the demo, but most of it was kind of just like me writing and showing her stuff. And
Yeah.
I haven't been playing drums for nearly as long as I've been playing guitar, so I want to keep like, I don't know, making stuff and recording stuff and just like improving, obviously. So that was like one of the main reasons I wanted to. And then on top of that, like trying to write music for Vomit Violence was just like not like happening for me, really.
Is that because you felt like you had to fit into their mold already, or is
Everything
not
got
inspired at that
rejected.
Just
time?
everything, just it wasn't my band.
Yeah.
It was Traden's band, and so like everything I came up with just like wasn't good for him or whatever.
Yeah.
It's too different or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I just wanted to like write my own music basically. And then Elle was interested in doing vocals, trying out doing vocals for a band for a while, and I think she just had something to say too, so it worked out well.
I think that I mean, we've had a lot of conversations about this stuff and what we want people to get out of our music when they hear it. I mean, did you come into this thinking like, oh, well, this is going to be like a political band, or like, oh, this is some shit that's happening that I really need to speak on? Because I know you're all about being responsible with your voice
Yeah.
when you have an audience. Did that just kind of happen, or was that like that's something you always look for in this type of music anyway?
I guess in my mind, I was like, yeah, I'll do this for fun. But then once I was actually there, I was kind of like, there's a lot of things to be said and to be heard. And I feel like it's really important whenever someone is given said platform where people inevitably have to listen because you're just sitting there screaming. There's no choice in the matter for anybody to listen, that you should use that platform to say something about something, just because there's so much going on where there's no way you don't have like an opinion or like some kind of thing to spread, I suppose.
Completely. And I think it's cool that, you know, we can rock shows together, being from, you know, slightly different generations of this scene, and also having different viewpoints and stuff. Even there is overlap, but like I'm up there, you know, singing all these anti-violence songs, and then you're coming up and going, well, fucking, you know, we got chains and bats, and, you know, we'll fucking beat a rapist to death in the back alley and shit. But I think it's cool just because there's kind of a respect for everyone to speak their piece in that.
Yeah.
Musically, I think you guys are super interesting. I like just the chords that you guys choose. It seems like there's a lot of... I like to add unnecessary flats and do like little chromatic things. We have probably different influences, but you know, similar sensibilities in like the things that I'm picking out of your riffs that are going like, oh, that's really like, I wish I had thought of that. What are your influences and how you come up with a riff and put that shit together?
So I think the goal for just overall musically with Iced is to just mix our influence of of like old punk and hardcore and like the newer stuff. That's why, like most of the songs are like upbeat, fast D beat stuff, and then like every song has like some heavy part that's kind of like different, as far as just like the actual like key or whatever, I don't know, I'm down with anything that's chromatic and not just like typical like old school punk scales, I guess.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite things is to just make good fast riff. It's simple, it fits the format, but then I'll like tweak that chord doesn't go there, let's put it there. Or that usually would go 4 times, let's do it 3.5. Or those little things, because I feel like in our kind of music, when you're playing 45-second songs, 60-second songs, stuff like that, to make it interesting and to make it fun to play, I feel like is to kind of keep yourself and the audience guessing.
Yeah.
A lot of the stuff that I write as a guitarist is straight 90s punk shit in the beginning.
Yeah.
And then you do all those little tweaks to it and come up with something that's really different. But I dig your guys' music in that regard. And you never go like metal heavy, but you'll have these cool like halftime, 2-step parts and whatever.
Yeah.
Do you feel like the new record you're working on now is similar to the demo, or is this a total departure for you guys?
I'd say it's definitely similar, but there's also like vibes and styles we utilize in the new material that wasn't done in the demo. It's definitely along the same lines. I don't think anyone's going to hear any of the new material and be like, wow, this sounds like a different band. But at the same time, it's like, okay, there's this part here and there that's like something we didn't do last time, like that kind of thing.
Have you tried this stuff out live, or is it going to be mostly fresh to people?
2 songs.
There's been one song that we've been playing for a minute now that people have heard live. Another song that we've also been playing for a little while, not quite as long, but then everything else is new. The other new stuff is new, like as in we haven't played it yet.
Yeah. When you guys are coming up with stuff, I mean, are you like recording practices and kind of building parts, or is it pretty much you write it all in one sitting and do everything together? Or I mean,
basically what happens for writing music is I'll just sit there and sometimes I'll come up with consecutive parts that end up working out, but usually what it is I'm just like writing riff by riff, and I just like record every like little riff I come up with that I like on my phone, and then like try to piece it together from there.
Nice.
We actually don't do like any like writing like at rehearsal or anything like that, really. I'll come up with stuff, Josh will show me riffs that he came up with, and then I'll like fit both of our stuff into like one song.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like we're similar in that I for me, writing is very solitary.
Yeah,
it happens when it happens.
I mean, yeah, it's been like almost 2 years now since we put out the demo, and like it's not like we're doing a crazy amount of new material. I take a lot of time with it, and I think trying to like force myself to write in a practice setting with other people just doesn't work out too great most of the time. So I'd rather just like kind of work on it when I'm actually feeling inspired, instead of just trying to like force a song to come out writing directly with other people.
I even think that that's weird in the context of recording. Like, that's spoken as someone who we're sitting in my studio. The fact that I have this at my disposal means that anytime I have an idea, I can come out and work on stuff. And I feel like the idea of having to, okay, we're all going to plan some time to get together and write is really tough, in the same way that like, okay, we're all going to plan some time to book at a studio to go in, and we're going to do our best performance of this song that particular hour of that day. Like, it's so hard to capture that shit, when it's planned. So I like the very almost piecemeal approach of, you write the thing when you're feeling it, you put it down when you're done, and if it takes 6 months to turn that into a song, then maybe it's better for it.
Yeah. When we're working, like trying to write all together, sometimes it's hard to take it seriously.
Yeah, we
like,
definitely just get if I'm being honest, just fucking around after
Yeah,
a certain
well,
point, because you
but
can't
yeah.
force something that's not there.
Yeah, exactly. Like
So-
anytime I come up with like any song is like when I'm actually feeling like inspired to write, and you can't necessarily just like create that feeling in like one instant.
Yeah, you
know what I
can't just
mean?
like pencil that in and expect that it'll happen.
Yeah, so it's like when we like we've come up with riffs together and like stuff made it into songs, but we've never just like sat there and wrote a song together or anything like that.
I feel like it kind of just has happened. Like, I know you and Josh have kind of brought things to the table, and then we'll go to practice, and you guys will kind of mess around with it, figure out
yeah.
how things should go, as opposed to what is going. If that
Yeah,
makes
kind of
sense.
like
Yeah, arrangements in a collaborative environment is really great.
Yeah.
It's kind of like holding up a mirror to your idea and going, all right, guys, this is what I've got. And you get a couple of, well, what about? And it's usually better for having the added input at that point.
yeah.
But I mean, that's similar to recording, and and your producer says, oh, well, try this instead, or shorten that chorus and do this or whatever. And sometimes those little changes after the fact can really elevate it, but they're not necessarily integral to the writing process, necessarily.
Yeah.
So you guys are working with, is his name Colin Hicks? Is that
Colin
Yeah.
right?
Hicks, yeah.
How's
Great
that going?
man.
It's been going awesome. Mm-hmm. It's been really enjoyable recording with Colin. He's just like really chill and relaxed.
Yeah.
We're done with all the instruments, and we just got to lay down like vocals,
Mm-hmm.
and then just has to be mixed and mastered, and it's ready.
Now, where are you at musically in this process? I mean, are you strictly lyrics in this capacity now?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
From what I understand, you're playing a lot of the parts yourself.
Yeah, so obviously the drums are me, and
Well,
then and we're going on to our fourth bassist now, who is a
R.I.P.
very quick learner, but also like we didn't want to just, I don't know, force him to like learn everything really fast and then record his bass parts. So I did the bass on the recordings.
Okay. So I know that you guys are going in this weekend because you're taking a day off.
Yep.
Yeah,
I think dropping in the springtime. Is that right?
Yep. Yeah.
yeah. Our plan is to do it in March.
How many songs do you have?
It's 7 total.
Yeah. 5 new, and then 2 from some of the party favorites from the demo.
Okay.
Yeah, 2 re-records.
Is that just stuff you felt like you didn't quite get it the first time, or?
No, more so. Well, I mean, we kind of just wanted to. That is like, I guess, one of the classic influences is just that classic re-record material formula. But but mainly just because we chose our 2 favorite songs, like the ones we think are the best from the demo, and obviously the demo is recorded in my garage. This is recorded with nice equipment in like a soundproof room and whatever else.
You hadn't played any shows at that point, right?
No.
So, I mean-
The demo was like, it was just us at the time.
Yeah.
So we just kind of wanted to take those 2 songs that we really like and just redo them and just make them sound a lot better through Colin.
Especially for me, because, well, I hadn't done vocals before when we did the demo, and that was already me practicing and learning
Yeah,
the songs
yeah.
via recording.
And you were sick.
Oh, yeah. I was fucking sick the whole time.
We had this record we did in high school where our band was breaking up and we were trying to record to kind of capture everything, before we all kind of went our separate ways. And we were on such bad terms with our singer that he came for the scratch tracks, like when we recorded drums, and then we never saw him again. And so, and he was sick that day. And so the only points he's on the record are his congested scratch tracks from the drum session. And the funny thing is, when it came out, everyone's like, wow, his voice sounds so much better on this.
Did you use it?
Yeah, we used it. We
sick.
used it. I mean, we played like one show after that as like a farewell / CD release party or something. Well, I think we did one in Roseburg and one in Eugene. But so you guys went on a summer tour.
Yep.
How did that go?
Great.
Yeah.
I loved it.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Like, I don't know. That's why I'm like so like, I don't know, really excited to go again because I felt like I like couldn't get enough of the situation.
Yeah, it wasn't long enough.
Yeah.
How far did you guys go? It was like a week or 10 days.
It was
Something
like 10 days.
9 or 10 days
I'm trying to
out.
think of what the furthest place was.
So
Reno?
I don't know. The route was Eugene, Portland, Tacoma, Seattle, Boise, Salt Lake, Reno,
Salt Lake.
Chico.
Okay.
So I guess maybe like Salt Lake is probably the furthest.
Yeah.
Or Boise, I don't even know.
How was that? I kind of hate Utah.
Salt Lake?
I've never really had good experiences out there.
Salt Lake was cool.
They have a good punk scene?
Yeah, we have. I don't know. We know some really nice people from there. Actually,
Yeah.
one of the it was cool because the band Lubed from Salt Lake were like friends with the people in that band, and like we went out and played there, and then just like a month later they came to Eugene and played.
Oh, weird.
So it was like pretty cool, just like meeting these people and like becoming friends with them, and then they came to Eugene like so soon after.
Yeah, and they set us up with a pretty cool shows at like a real venue and whatnot.
Yeah, it's
Which is
Well, yeah, I was going to
unheard
ask because this is the first time in a long time for me that booking tours with DFS, we wind up with actually like a percentage of shows are house shows, which is like nostalgic for me. It's so long ago, but it seems like that's still more so the norm in the punk community. Is that what you guys are mostly experiencing?
Okay,
It's
I was actually surprised because, well, I feel like between playing Eugene and Portland a lot, it's like only houses or like weird shit that's not necessarily like a venue.
Yeah, other places have venues apparently.
Yeah, apparently that's a thing in other places. Like,
It's not
we
Oregon,
only
but
played one house.
we
Wait,
played
2 houses.
We played a house in Seattle, and we played a house in Portland,
and that's it.
and then yeah.
Well, unless we
everything-
consider that place
I
that
guess-
that man lived a house, but that
There
wasn't
was-
a house. He just
Yeah,
lived there.
the Boise show was like kind of a house show, but it was not. It was like some guy's birthday, and
That no one knew.
yeah, but we played in his like new like recording studio.
Huh.
That's where the show was. It was cool,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, I mean, I guess it was kind of that was the only other thing that was close to a house.
The house in Seattle is really cool because it
Mm-hmm.
was like a real legit like speakeasy, like they're like doing like illegal bartending and stuff, but in the basement, which is
Yeah.
actually pretty sick just to see.
Yeah.
There was a Portland spot like that a few years back. God, I can't think of the name. We had played there. It was like a summertime show, and we go down to the basement, and they had like a legit full like bar built in that thing.
Yeah, that's
And
what
I
it was like. Like
what
we
the
saw
fuck?
it, and I
Yeah.
thought it was just like, a part of the building. But then no, they're like selling drinks and stuff to people.
They were actually
Pretty cool.
selling stuff there.
Sweet. So you guys have got a plan to hit the road again for this record?
Yeah,
In March.
we haven't said anything
Okay.
yet publicly.
All right.
but that's
you don't
that's
have to
no,
spill
it's okay.
Spill it yet.
It's okay. We might as well just say something here. I mean, it's gonna be spring break forever.
Yeah, we're going with some buddies.
Yeah.
This time around.
Yeah, basically, just
Am I allowed to say that much?
Yeah. Just it's a spring break tour going south this time. It's basically a California tour. We're going to like 6 different places in California.
Well, dude, that's the way to book because California, you can easily play a week in there without having to drive 8 hours in
Oh,
between
yeah.
cities.
Dude, I'm
That
so
was
stoked because
so
every
happy.
like
Actually make
drive's like
money.
2 hours apart.
Yeah, like I think honestly our longest drive might be the first drive, which is just Eugene to Chico,
Yeah.
and we're going with our friends Defy from Chico.
So you're kind of starting with their hometown.
Yeah, so the plan. When is the Chico show?
March 15th.
March 15th. Okay, so that's a Chico show. The weekend before that, we're just going to play Eugene in Portland, and it's going to be like a little tour kickoff / album release
Nice.
/ merch release / Ellie's zine
Oh, cool.
thing. So
Yeah.
there's a lot going on.
So, well, yeah. Tell me about the zine. I know that's been in the works for a while.
It was a lot of trial and error since, well, it took a long time.
First time.
First time, I don't have a computer, so I was like, Yeah, I'll do it all by hand. This is easy. I make flyers by hand. Well, I was fucking wrong. But lots of trial and error, lots of just a lot of people saying that they had content that they just never, they kind of ghosted on. So I had to do a lot of like last minute creating content. But personally, I like really enjoyed the experience. I thought it was really fun and like, I don't know, kind of a cathartic experience, if you will.
When's part 2 coming out?
Oh God.
Well, I was gonna say, I mean, it's heavy content. I mean, for anybody who doesn't know,
Yeah, it was also very emotionally exhausting to be kind of contributing just so much time, just like talking about, sexual assault and abuse. And then also, I mean, I did have people submit their stories to me and just like, you're just spending a lot of time with each person's submission, each person's content, and like, I guess thinking about all of it.
it's like a forensic analyst who's got to look at murdered people all day
Yeah.
or something. It's like has to take some kind of a toll.
Yeah.
But also feel a little bit gratifying in the way that it's it's celebrating survivors.
Yeah, definitely. I'm really excited to release it. It's been done for a hot minute here. However, I felt like, how do I say? I couldn't just put it out.
Yeah.
I had to wait for,
Yeah, you gotta have
some kind of
event.
event. So yeah, I'm gonna be releasing it with our album release / tour kickoff just because it seemed appropriate. When I put it out, there will be donations going towards sexual assault support services, which is also what we're gonna do with the EP when it's done. We're gonna have it up on Bandcamp for a pretty low price, and half the donations will go to them too.
So what's the zine called?
It's called We Claimed Our Bodies.
Have we announced the name of the record yet?
It's a song that already exists.
Okay. We'll leave it at that. The diehards will know.
And the song's not iced.
Oh, okay.
We
No
weren't,
self-titled.
we weren't that lazy with it. It's a slogan at this point.
Yeah, kind of, yeah.
We set the March goal, and we just wanted to make sure we had everything that we already had planned done by then. And then, whatever we think of next will happen next.
Fair
Not
enough. In
our minds.
In all fairness, we had come to the perfect conclusion, but I was like, damn, this is kind of a short episode. And so I was just like, well, shit, is there any fucking thing else to talk about?
Anything.
I'm so used to talking to my friends who are like, all right, so 15 years ago when you started, let's go back there. and it's like, all right, so this band started 2 years ago. What do we got?
Trying to think.
I'm old, people. I'm old.
The new bassist is our friend Kenny. I've known him for like 7 or 8 years now. Been playing music with him forever. And I know he's a dedicated and serious musician, and he's down to do shows and tours and whatever else. So hopefully it's lasting.
And that's the biggest thing is
Yeah.
like you could find a friend who can play the music and hang, but to find someone who's in it enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially when it's not their project. When it's your project, it's really hard to find people who care about it as much as you do and actually want to commit and sacrifice the time and sometimes the money in going on a road, and supporting the record. So I think that's cool that you found not only a friend, but somebody who's been out before and like, oh yeah, dude, no big deal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's been on.
I'm really glad he like just knows what's up because, well,
Yeah.
touring like as much as it is fun and all that stuff, it fucking sucks.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he's currently in a black metal-ish band called Pelorian, and they did like full US and like European tour within the past year.
Nice.
So like he's had more road experience than any of us, so I think that will also help just like
this will be a nice little break for him.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he'll have more fun on our tour just like driving 2 hours to the next city all throughout California, and then like
Having time to hang out.
I feel like he'll have stuff to offer us though too, just like his knowledge, just doing this kind of stuff a lot more than we've been able to.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. Every time you go out with somebody different. I mean, and last time you guys were basically out by yourselves, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
So
Just
I mean,
us.
yeah, I mean, anytime you go out with somebody different, like you've all had different experiences out there, and it's such a shit show. You never know what's going to happen, and so those hard lessons learned being passed on by somebody else is fucking awesome every time.
Yeah.
So we can look forward to that starting March 15th.
Just to reiterate, come to the shows and donate to Ellie's zine. All of the proceeds for that are going to be going to SAS, which is,
Sexual assault support services.
and I think for what the plan is we're doing the Eugene and Portland show. We're just going to have our tapes there for sale. The shows are Friday, Saturday. So that Sunday, the new release will go up online. It will probably start at like $2 or $3. Name your price. And 50% of the whatever we make off that will be going to SAS as well.
I love Ellie's face during this as you're laying it out, and she's like, "What the fuck's happening?"
Yeah, I was like
We had talked about any
Sunday,
of
but I
this.
was like, oh wait, that makes sense.
I said, Sunday because the shows are Friday,
Yeah,
Saturday.
makes way more sense.
So the people who were there in person get the shit early.
Yeah, the people, if you go to the release shows, you can grab our tape or not, honestly, and just wait and buy it on Bandcamp so we can donate your money.
Shout out to Colin, have him record.
Oh yeah, shout out to Colin, seriously. Catatonic Studios, Colin Hicks on Facebook.
Beefs it up.
I'm gonna delete all this part. I'm just kidding.
Oh yeah, also Sam records stuff. I don't know, what's your studio called here?
It doesn't matter. I don't want to record. Whoever's listening, I don't want to record your band.
Okay,
I'm
hit
sorry.
up Colin.
Don't even think about hitting up Sam.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm slightly jealous. I wanted to work with Iced, but I don't want to record your band. Whoever's listening, it's fine.
But yeah, Colin, he is a good man at a good price.
He's got a wood stove.
He does have a wood stove. You'll see a lot of deer on your way to his house.
See some titties on the wall. I could
Yes,
from
lots.
the videos.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah, Jordan got
got
mad at
some
me
good
because I like
decorations.
zoomed in on like a picture from the ice page.
I don't want
It was
that-
a picture of like a woman with her vagina spread. He was like, "You're gonna get us banned."
Well, like if you do that on
Oh,
your
I
own
don't think I
page,
saw that one.
if you do it on your own page, I don't care, but I just didn't
Don't
want
block the band.
I didn't want to. Yeah, I didn't want to get the band page blocked.
Okay,
or
no
banned.
one reported it. Vagina woman on the wall was fine.
Yeah, but algorithms, though.
Can it detect that?
I guess I don't know
Is there
about
a
Instagram.
program that's like labia detected?
I'm honestly not sure about Instagram, or at least as far as the story system goes, but Facebook does.
Huh.
Yeah,
You can get banned on Facebook for just posting something and no one reports it.
That's crazy.
yeah.
Yeah, they just detect certain things.
Huh.
They're always watching.
Fair enough. All right. Well, kids, remember that. Don't show your vag on Instagram.
Wait, no, you can on Instagram.
You can
Not
on Instagram,
Facebook.
apparently.
Well, I mean, you can if the people who follow you don't report it.
Just make a Twitter.
Well,
There you go.
Anything goes there.
The moral of the story is if you're going to post your vag or someone else's vag who's on the wall of the studio you're at, do it on Twitter.
Not Tumblr, though.
yeah. Moral of the story is if you're on Tumblr, just post feet pics.
Ooh, that's weird.
That's okay.
No. No.
I'm still wondering about that entire situation. Have you heard with Tumblr? They banned all porn,
Yeah.
But-
Adult content.
all adult content. But what about the gray area of just
Feet
Feet.
pics.
I mean,
etc.?
technically,
It's just...
I mean, if you have a weird, fetish for ice cream cones or something, they're not going to remove a normal non-sexual item just because
I propose
Rudy's
it
over there in his
depends
bedroom
on how
jacking
it's
off
presented.
to it.
Like if there's a picture of an ice cream cone on satin sheets.
Dude, ice cream cones are pretty hot.
I don't know, man.
Have you ever just looked at a nice cone?
Nice cone.
It's a nice cone.
My dog's got a nice cone right now.
Oh,
Puppy.
sad.
The unison awe. One thing that I forgot to ask was I used to be in this band where I was just the bass player. The creative team was my friend Eric and my friend Jory. They've been a couple for as long as I've known them, for 20 years or something. Eric wrote most of the music. Jory was the vocalist, and it was called Jory and the Push. They had like super cool music. I like, dude, anything that you need when you take this on stage, like, let me be in the band, you know. So I wound up playing the bass in the band, and that was super cool, and I loved playing with those guys. But I feel like it's such a rare, awesome thing to be able to like be creative with the person that you're involved with. Like, what has that been like for you guys? Is it like an added layer of like, oh, you know, I already live with this person, now we see him at practice and like I'm mad at the fucking dishes from earlier, or is it like a cool,
It really stresses us out. We
You
fight a
know,
lot.
Okay.
Just kidding.
Actually, it's pretty cool. It's really easy because, well, I don't know. I feel like it's like, why not just hang out and do the thing with like your best friend,
Yeah.
basically? Like,
Yeah, I mean, before we were a couple, we were already in a band, and we were already like best friends and hang out all the time because we lived literally a block away.
yeah.
So it's not, I don't know.
I
don't
feel
think
like-
it's
familiar.
like, yeah, it's like a familiar thing, and it's like, we always say this, we like playing music because it's not regular life stuff.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if we're like, I mean, we never really fight or get mad at each other
It's
in
like
general.
stupid shit.
Yeah, so it's like, if there is ever anything we're annoyed about or something before practice, we can just push that aside and just play and have fun.
I always encourage people in relationships to have your own passions and have your things that you're going after, and not like just rely on your partner as your only or your relationship as your only source of satisfaction or something. But I think it's a rare thing where you guys actually have the same goals, literally the same project,
Yeah.
passion project. I mean, that's pretty cool to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it works out well because, I mean, we like playing music together. I thought touring was really fun. and-
Immediate bed privileges.
Yeah,
Oh yeah,
that's the
the
great
other
thing
band
too.
members are like, we're all sleeping in the same room. Like, you guys be cool.
Mainly the cool thing is if it's like, you know, we get somewhere like our friend's house and they're like, we have one bed. It's like, obviously it's our bed, you know.
Nice.
Like, why would our bandmates take that, you know?
I just claim it because I'm a dick. I'm like, dude, I'm the driver. I need my sleep. Fuck off. It's mine.
But no, to go back, I think it works well because it's like, yeah, we've been playing in bands together for a long time, going to shows together or whatever. We listen to a lot of the same music, but then at the same time, we do have other like hobbies and stuff that we don't share.
Yeah.
The band is just like one of the fun things we do together. You know, if we want to do our own thing, we also have other stuff going on.
I mean, for
Also-
me, I'm glad that I have like a couple of creative partners in the different groups that I'm in that I've known forever, and so we have a shorthand. We have a chemistry. We kind of know
Yeah.
what the other person means in very few words. Like, do you feel like creatively it's a benefit as opposed to working with someone that you're not as tight with?
Oh, definitely.
Definitely.
Yeah, I think when it comes to like creative decisions, like while we're recording, for instance, if we do one thing and like we usually kind of like bounce opinions back and forth, like, what do we think of this part? Like, I don't know, we usually kind of like think the same thing.
Yeah.
Like,
Me and Jordan are like 90% of the time on the same page, like musically, creatively, and like plan wise in regards to the project.
yeah.
Which makes it very nice.
Yeah, it's awesome. I mean, you have a lot of personalities in any group, and I feel like more often than not, it comes to one person. Because we were talking about buy-in, you know, people who they want to play, they want to hang out, but maybe they're not as invested.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so you'll have another person who has to then be the one responsible for booking and recording and promoting, you know. And we talked about that as something that's important to you guys is actually like branding it and putting the music out there. And so to have 50% of the band
Yeah.
unified on that
Yeah.
is probably super helpful.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah. Obviously, we want to involve our bandmates in everything and every like thought we have and decision we make, but you know, we're not like with them nearly as much as we're with each other, so we're always just like talking about the band and ideas and just bouncing things off of like one another. And then if we come up with like a cool idea, that's when we bring it to the group chat or whatever. Be like,
Group chat.
yeah, the group chat. Everyone has a group chat, right?
I
Yeah.
fucking hate group chat.
What?
Can't do it.
Group chat's a party.
No, I don't like my phone blowing up. But like if I get a message from like someone in a group context, I will break out of that and respond to them directly. So I am not another notification
Oh man.
that has nothing to do with like 5 other people who are on there. Like I fucking hate them.
I like the group chat for band stuff just because it's an easy way to have everyone in one place.
Yeah.
I mean that's I'm sure that's right. I'm just so used to being operating as a 2-piece in mine that like
Fair.
for me I'm not thinking of like practicality. I'm thinking of like, God, that's so fucking annoying.
Yeah. Yeah, I think
Like family group chat, shit like that, you know.
yeah. I think like generally like musically, artistically, whatever, our bandmates kind of like almost expect us to just kind of like make the decisions about things. But obviously like we still bring everything by everyone else, and when it comes to stuff like shows and stuff, we have to ask, you know. Like there's certain things we've kind of just like ideas and stuff we've come up with, and we're just like, yeah, like we want to do this, but then, you know.
That's one thing I do really like about Josh and Kenny is that they heavily trust our instinct and sort of ability to decide if something's a good idea or not.
Yeah.
Which is nice.
Like shirt designs we're working on, album art, stuff like that.
Who's making your album art?
I basically designed it, but then I'm basically having someone with actual Photoshop skills in an actual computer recreate it so it can be of high quality. Because I mean, I photoshopped and did everything we needed to do on my phone, but just putting it through phone applications just like
it murdered the quality.
yeah, it just does not look good. And if it was just a J card and just digital, it would be fine, but we don't know what else we want to do with it. Maybe it'll end up on merch. Maybe we'll have, I don't know, CDs, vinyl in the future. I don't know.
Floppy
So like
disks.
floppy disks.
Dude, no joke. I have a friend who released a CD in a floppy disk.
Oh.
Yeah,
Ooh,
yeah, it exists.
don't give us ideas.
Wait, but who is doing it?
Yeah, the dude's name is Dustin Pilkington. He's in a band called Total Abuse. They're really sick.
Are they from here?
No, he lives in
Texas?
Texas.
Oh.
We actually met him. I liked that band for quite a while before I ever knew this dude, but we met him through VHS collectors groups on Facebook.
Nice.
There was a random thread in one of those groups where it's just like, who in here makes music? Like, post your stuff for fun. And then like,
You're the only 2 hardcore bands in the mix.
no, actually, well, maybe. I think like actually a lot of VHS collectors seem to like punk and metal.
Yeah.
I think it just kind of like goes hand in hand a little bit, like especially like metal and horror movies.
Oh, yeah.
Meaning you like things from the 80s. Yeah.
Yeah, basically. Yeah, it's just, you know, nostalgia stuff for them. But yeah, basically he posted his link and I was just like, whoa, like I like your band. I mean, it's not like I'm like super close to him, talking to him all the time, but we bought tapes from him a couple times. And then I think maybe a week ago, I saw him make a post that was just like, bands, let me make your album art. Posted, you know, 10 pictures of stuff he's done. And I was like, okay, like he has some art skills, Photoshop skills. I need someone to just make this thing. So I just like messaged him.
I've had other artists tell me like the best thing you can do is give them very clear expectations.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Because
Yes.
the worst thing you can do is go, well I don't know. How about, you know, let me know what you come up with. And then like veto all their shit, you know,
Yeah.
and change everything. It's like, if I'm reaching out to somebody, usually I have an exact, like, here's my mock-up like you've done.
Yeah.
Or here's a couple references and a description and the title and like, you know, work with this so they can actually make the thing that's in your head instead of going through this whole back and forth process. So I'm sure that he appreciates you doing that.
Yeah,
Going like, can you make this better?
He definitely knows exactly what we want. Same thing with our shirt designs. We've basically made a shitty version on our own and then sent them over. And I think I like working with other people, and there's like certain tiny details where I'll be like, hey, if you have like artistic input on this, then like I'm down to see it. But like overall, I want to tell someone exactly what we want. So it's like, not only did we have the mock-up that I had already made that I'm just like, dude, just make this again, but just in Photoshop, high quality. But also they have the other band's art.
Well, and you're giving
that
them
we're
the
stealing.
parameters where you can improvise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of stolen art, you had an incident with that, didn't you?
Oof.
It wasn't anything major. It was basically our friend.
You don't have to name names in this part. if
Yeah,
you don't
no.
want to.
It's cool. It was our friend that made it, and they just like Googled whatever and kind of just like copied something from Google that happened to be something that was actually made by like a current artist that's posting their stuff on Tumblr. That's basically what happened, and it wasn't like.
It got solved very quickly.
Yeah, I
'cause
mean,
I'm
we
just like, just kidding. We still need art.
Yeah,
And a
like,
bunch of people hit me up. So.
They kind of just like did it without like realizing like, oh wait, this is like a thing someone like recently made and is like advertising on their page, and they have a lot of followers or whatever else. So yeah, we just had to have it remain.
A lot of punk art, especially flyers and stuff, is found photos chopped together and collage art and stuff like that. And so got to be a little bit careful in what you're sampling
Yeah.
for that shit. You know, I think of that stuff in music all the time. It's like working on a record that has sample heavy beats. It's like, well, all this shit goes on the internet now. So, I mean, I'm pretty much taking whatever I want, but if there's like a big, obvious, famous thing that you're using, a well-known section, you got to at least disguise it and do something different with it so it's not a carbon copy. It's
Especially because I feel like just like right now in hardcore, at least from like that's just a big thing to just make sure you have like almost complete rips of something familiar. Like, well, our pins,
like the icy logo.
yeah,
pins,
like
See, I would like to see a shirt out of that because, you know, I want to rock an iced shirt that doesn't have a gun on it, personally. That's my style. And I get ices when I go to the theater. You know, so,
Wait.
you know.
One
The
of
first
the-
shirt doesn't have a gun on it.
yeah, it does. A nail gun.
A nail gun
but
does not count.
Still a
Okay,
gun nonetheless.
All right. I was just thinking I'd seen two in a row where I was like, oh, they got a new. That's okay.
I know one of the new shirt designs does not have a weapon,
Yeah.
right?
One of them.
The
The short sleeve. But it's also. Well, that one's not
It's
done
also
yet. But
got it's also got that vagina picture on it. So
yeah.
yeah.
still gotta be.
That's the whole shirt. It's just that, and it just says iced, and you know we spent 4 months working on it. You know?
Okay, but actually though, with that shirt design, the short sleeve, that's one thing that kind of goes back to what you were talking about earlier. Like we gave the artist like such a clear idea of what was going on, where I was just like, he sent it back to me. I was like, that's perfect.
Yeah, like literally
Just change this one thing.
The only thing we were like, maybe you can mess with this thing is like the font for some text. We were interested in just seeing a couple different fonts, like whatever they thought would look good. Otherwise, we're like, this is exactly what we need. Basically, exactly the same thing with the long sleeve. Actually, it's a front, back, and sleeve designs that we all knew exactly what we wanted for, except for on the back design, there's a little quote, and we want it decorated with something, and we weren't sure what like font or anything or how we wanted it decorated. We ended up just using like kind of the same font, but the artist like added something really cool to it.
Well, I'm looking forward to it. We're a little bit early now for the record. If you guys had something, I would normally like drop, okay, you guys can hear the fucking song. But I think we're going to have to play some old shit right now to get people ready because it's still happening, still tinkering.
Almost there.
Yeah, almost.
All right, that is our show. Thank you so much for listening. You can subscribe to the show if you want to hear more. There's 50-some episodes behind us. We got plenty more on the way. Punk rock, hip-hop, producers. You can check out Iced with Defy on their spring tour. Starting March 15th, they're hitting Chico, Oakland, Santa Cruz, San Luis Obispo, Bakersfield, Los Angeles, Las Vegas, Reno, and Sacramento. We're going to play a cut off their first demo while we wait for the new shit to get mixed and mastered. This one's called Don't Mean Shit.